Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be on this planet of ours. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As we've been doing for quite some time, we're going to start off this program with a salute to the country of the United States of America. We're going to start off with the national anthem, and just prior to that, the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome, straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
Okay, sorry guys. The volume got knocked down by the idiots that put this platform together. We're sorry about that. The AI takes our sound down. We have to constantly check it, and I'm so sorry for that. Folks, welcome to Emergency Management Associates tonight. We're primarily going to talk about earthquakes. Okay? Primarily about earthquakes. What has happened here? Okay? We've had earthquakes all over the central part of Italy for months now. Literally months. We had a 5.0 in the water to the north of this earthquake not that long ago, just about a month or so ago. Now the earthquakes are continuing here to swarm. I don't believe it's going to stop. I believe we're going to have probably a 5.5 to a 6.0 earthquake hit here in Italy. And I don't think it's that far away. Okay? So large earthquake hit in the water here, and it affected very few people on land. This time I believe the earthquake's going to be at 5.5 to at least a 6.0 here in Italy in the very near future. We've always said that there's going to be swarms of earthquakes, there's going to be a large earthquake. Now it's happened here. Okay, I want to pay attention to what we're saying here. Okay, so this is a 4.7 moderate earthquake. It was not a deep quake at all. It was fairly decent shallow quake. So let's think about this. Let's keep our eyes on this. Notice where that fault is. That red line going through central Italy there, starting in southern Italy, going right through the center and out into the ocean here. This earthquake hit nearly on that earthquake fault. Right in the mountainous area here on that earthquake fault. That's one of the reasons this earthquake hit. Every time, almost every time, an earthquake such as this hits, there's usually an earthquake fault involved. Okay? Now, I want to go from there. I'm going over here. Excuse me. Well, that's just weird. It's like I've got something in my throat and I don't know why. Anyway, this, folks, is a 5.0 magnitude quake. This is near Muwuk, Indonesia. Okay? In Indonesia. This earthquake hit because this whole area is subducting in a major way. There are 7 different plates, each one of them subducting one under the other. Okay, we're constantly getting earthquakes in this area. Again, this is a 5.0. But what USGS doesn't want us to see is there are probably 2.5 dozen earthquakes here in Indonesia today. They've listed 3. They've listed 3. This is a 5.0 large earthquake. It was out in the ocean. Nobody probably was even feeling this earthquake because the ocean waters here absorbed the shock wave. Again, this was a fairly shallow quake, not really deep at all. Let's further go over here. Okay? I want to talk to you about this one. This, folks, was a decent sized quake. This is a 5.3. It was right off the northwest coast of Luzon, Philippines. Off the northwest coast of Luzon, Philippines. Now, I'm not going to zoom in right now, but I'm going to tell you that whole area on the island there is heavily populated. There's a pretty decent sized city here. Okay? They probably felt a good share of that energy. I'm going to say probably they felt a moderate sized quake, a 4.5, 4.7, maybe even a 5.0. It was within 11 miles of the coast. It was just 11 miles off the coast. This was a fairly shocking quake. Okay? Luzon, Philippines here has has been having a lot of quakes over here off the northwest coast. This is probably not a big surprise to these people. They've gotten used to it. They've gotten used to it. Now, on top of that, let's show you another quake here. Okay, this is going north up to northern Japan, right between the islands of Hokkaido, Japan, and Honshu, Japan. Out again in the ocean, we had a 6.0 magnitude earthquake. This was a very strong earthquake. Okay, again, the ocean waters here absorbed the shock waves. I don't think anybody even felt this. If they did, it was just barely feeling anything. The ocean waters absorb the shock waves when it's this far out into the ocean here. I don't think anybody felt a thing. Then we go over here to the Solomon Islands yesterday. Okay, I told you I'd keep you up to date with what happened. There was a 6.1 magnitude earthquake in the Solomon Islands yesterday. Folks, it was a 6.2 in my opinion. Okay, I showed you this helioplot yesterday. This is nothing new here. Okay, it was not a bigger earthquake than they said it was. This time they hit it on pretty much on the nose. Okay, it wasn't totally off the paper. Okay, yes, we have the P waves here going off the bottom of this paper. Yes, that happens. Okay, we had approximately 11 hours of body wave here. We had 11 hours of body wave. I honestly thought that this may be a larger quake. Usually when it's a larger quake, we see 15, 20, 23 hours of body wave. This wasn't the case. It was only a maximum maybe 11 hours. Okay, so this was a 6.1, 6.2 magnitude earthquake. I want to make it clear what's going on. This is down in the South Pacific, guys. This is also in the area where we have all those plates that are subducting. That's why we're getting these earthquakes. That's exactly why we're getting these earthquakes. It's on the plate edge over there. Okay, it's on the plate edge. Now, I want to talk about something really quick before we go into California earthquakes. Tonight I'm primarily going to talk about California earthquakes. Okay, I'm going to talk heavily about California earthquakes. There's a reason for it. But just before I get into this, I want to talk about the Mexican drug cartels. Today, Senator Lindsey Graham from Tennessee talked about the cartels and talked about the terrible drugs that are coming from Mexico. Okay? The terrible drugs. What are they primarily pushing in here to the United States? What do you think they're pushing in? Fentanyl. Fentanyl. Just recently, the U.S. Border Patrol and Customs Protection caught $3 billion, 3 billion pills of fentanyl, enough to kill that many people again. They're shipping it out of Mexico, and primarily it's either coming from China and or Mexico, coming through the Mexican border. Okay? This has got to stop. This has got to stop. This was nearly zeroed out, not quite zeroed out, but nearly so before this administration came into power. Now we're seeing millions of people coming into the border. Something to the tune of 27,000 getaways or gotaways that aren't even known exactly how many people got in, but at least 27,000 gotaways each month. Each month. And they get about the same thing that they catch every day. It's incredible. But it's got to stop. With the previous administration, they nearly had it calmed down, and they would have shut it down with the border fence and all the other technology that they have down there in Mexico, or down there at the border. If we can get that reestablished, and we can get that border fence built, we can nullify what is going on, or almost nullify what is going on. We need to write our senators, our congressmen, and tell them no more people coming across, period. It's got to stop. Now, the reason I'm showing this particular slide, I wanted you to know where the drugs are coming across and who was responsible. And folks, you do not need to cross the border into these areas. You do not need to cross the border into these areas. If you do, these cartels could take you out. And we've proven it's happened. We talked a short time ago, just a couple weeks ago, about a family. 3 members of a family killed, going across the border for surgery, a tummy tuck, and yet 3 people were killed. Excuse me, it was 1 person was killed and 3 others came back. 1 of them seriously injured. 1 person killed and 1 other person seriously injured, and 2 other people came across. Okay? But the Sinaloa drug cartel is one of the biggest. Okay? Then the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. It used to be called the Jalisco Cartel. Now the new generations come across and they call it the New Generation Cartel. Then we have the Gulf Cartel. The drugs and smugglers coming through the Gulf. The Los Zetas. The Los Zetas are one of the most dangerous drug cartels down there. Then we also have the Northeast Cartel. The Juarez Cartel, just south of Texas. We also have the Tijuana Cartel, or the Tijuana Cartel, just south of San Diego. Then we have the Beltran-Leyva Cartel and the La Familia Michoacan drug cartel. And they're one of the most dangerous cartels as well. I arrested one of them a long time ago. I helped arrest one of the brothers of a drug cartel king, like the kingpin. I helped arrest one of the brothers down near the border. We caught him, and he is still in jail. But folks, you do not need to be crossing into Mexico right now. If you are planning on going into Mexico for spring break, stay out of there. Stay out of there. Dry up their money. Dry up their money. If you do that, guess what? All this crap is going to come to a halt, or it will slow down. Stay out of there. Petition your representatives in Washington to build that wall. If they don't do it, they don't want to do it, tell them we can replace them. They won't be in Washington after the next election. Hold their feet to the fire. I've done that, and I will continue doing that. Hold their feet to the fire and end this terrible drug fentanyl from coming across, as well as methamphetamine and everything else. It's got to come to a screeching halt. We have to stop the border immigration problem. It's bad. Okay? I could talk a lot more about it. I have a lot more I could say about it. But I just want to warn you, don't go across. Right now, these people right here will hurt you. It's happened just recently and it will continue to happen until we teach them a lesson. Okay? So please pay attention to that. Now, does anybody have any questions for me? NanoGaf says, Acapulco, anyone? I wouldn't even go to Acapulco right now. I know for a fact what's going on over there. The drug cartels stay on the outside, and at night they move into the city. And that's when people get killed, that's when people get kidnapped, that's when the drug dealing is going on. Oh yeah, Acapulco, Zihuatanejo, Manzanillo, Puerto Vallarta, it's all over. It's all over. Cancun, it's everywhere. NanoGav says, instead of sending money to Ukraine, finish the wall. I agree. Tell your representatives in Washington to finish the dadgum wall. Okay? Tell them to finish it or get out. And that's exactly what they need to do. Okay? Amy Jo says, one gang is going after the avocado farmers to take over their farms. I'm going to tell you, those gangs can stick it in their ear. Okay? Heather says she's just listening. Heather, thank you so much. God bless you for that. Anyway, I wanted to show you something else. I went to the mailbox today and I picked up some things I want to talk to you about. First off, Susan N. Those of you that have been with this program on the chat have seen Susan here talking with us. Well, guess what? We got a package today. Okay? It's called Ron's Rocks and Gems. A very nice assortment of rocks and minerals that she sent me. Okay? I've got some jars with just beautiful jewels in them. I've got other baggies of larger samples here. Okay? Such as this right here. This is petrified wood here. If I had more time, I'd take the rocks out and show you. This is beautiful. I want to thank her for this. She also sent us some support money. I appreciate that. Okay? She sent us a beautiful card as well. Okay? Look at how beautiful that card is. I love rocks. I love rocks. I love minerals. Okay? She told me in this card that this was a present because of what one of my exes did and kept my rock collection. My first ex-wife took my rock collection. Okay? I had, folks, a big rock like this. It was a petrified elephant's knee. I found it out in the Sonoran Desert. Okay? I found it in the Sonoran Desert. It was a big, beautiful sample. I had it verified. Okay? It was a big, beautiful elephant's knee. Okay? It was cool. I want to thank Susan for sending us this package. She also sent us some other rocks with the package. And she sent us a really cool letter about it. Okay, I really appreciate that, Susan. Thank you so much for that. Also, we got a gift in the mail from Lori in Lenoir, North Carolina. I was just up in Lenoir Sunday for a church meeting that was held up in Lenoir. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Lenoir is a very small town, and it's just kind of northwest from where I live. Lenoir is a neat town, and I want to thank Lori for this. It was a nice card. She says, thank you. And in it, I got a little note here, okay, saying, Dear Ron, thank you for sharing your faith, knowledge, and experience. Your dedication to the safety of others is honorable. I appreciate the time you put into this endeavor. I pray many people will hear your words and prepare. The card itself says, just wanted to let you know how much you're appreciated. Sending love to you and the EMA family. Health and happiness, Lori. Thank you so much, Lori. And anyway, she had one of these opaque small envelopes and sent the support in that little envelope and stuck it in this card. We appreciate that, Lori. God bless you for that. We really appreciate it. Okay? I can pay my medical, at least pay payments on my medical bills as a result. Thank you so much. And Susan, thank you so much for your support, and thank you for that beautiful gift of rock collection. I'm going to add that to what I have. At some point in time, I'm going to have my shelves built here, and I'm going to have a wall full of my rock collection and be able to display it. And when I do that, I will show you my rock collection display again. About a year and a half ago, I had a rock collection in the home that I lived in when I first got here. I had a beautiful rock collection. I still have that. Okay? And Sandy from San Francisco helped us get most of those. And I really appreciate it. Okay? I love my rock collection. It's really cool. Times and Signs says precious. Yes, it is. It's really, really cool. Amy Jo says, I love rocks and crystals. I do too. Okay? I just can't get enough of them. Just even right here at my desk. Okay, I want to show you something. This is one of the samples of petrified rock that Sandy in San Francisco sent me. See those crystals in that petrified wood there? Those are awesome. Those are really awesome. I love this. Okay? This is the other side of that petrified wood. Okay? You can see the grains in the wood. It's really cool. Okay? I have that. Okay? Also, one of our dear viewers sent me two volcanoes. Two volcanoes that they made. Okay? They made it out of acrylic. Okay? See the stones in that volcano? Isn't that cool? Okay? They sent me that about a year ago. Maybe a little over a year ago. I've got that and one other one on the other side of my desk here. It's a little hard to reach around some of the equipment here, so I won't show you that one today, but it's really cool too. I love these things. These are honest treasures that I will always cherish for the rest of my life. Times and Signs says love goes a long way. It sure does. I really appreciate that. Don Patoka, one of my mods here, says if you're not receiving notice from Google YouTube like they do to him, unsubscribe, then resubscribe, and then when you get to that subscription area and resubscribe, go click on that little bell icon. It's in a circle. Click on that bell icon and then click on the word ALL, all. That should get you resubscribed and also help maybe Google, YouTube will make sure you get notices when we come on the air. Right now we're coming on the air between 6 and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sometimes it's a bit later than that, but that's because there's sometimes late breaking news or something, and I'm trying to get the latest information to give you on the air. But other than that, we come on the air about 6 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Sundays, we do a Sunday school broadcast of Sunday school called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. This Sunday will come on the air about 10 a.m. 10 a.m. There's a conference broadcast that I want to watch on the satellite Sunday at noon. So at 10 o'clock in the morning, I will be doing my Come Follow Me, the Savior Said Sunday school broadcast, and we're going to be talking about the mission of Jesus Christ, his life, and also his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. So those of you that would like to prepare for that, I would love to have a discussion with those of you that come and watch our Sunday school class. Okay? I'm going to be prepared. This is one of my favorite Sunday school class lessons that I get to teach. I love Jesus Christ. I love his life, his mission, and what he has given to us. So during the next couple weeks, including Easter Sunday, I will be on the Sunday school class lesson talking about the life, the mission, his entry into Jerusalem, and also his crucifixion and triumphal resurrection. Okay, we're going to be talking about that, so this is just giving you a heads up. Yes, I am a Christian man. Okay? It goes almost without saying. Some people have asked me if I am. Yes, I am. I do love the Lord. I want you to know that. Okay? I know what is going on. Okay? I've been teaching Sunday school for a lot of years, not just since I've been doing it online. I've been teaching Sunday school, I've been teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ for probably 30 or 40 years now. Okay, that's how long I've been doing this. I know the scriptures by heart, inside and out. Those scriptures that I don't have memorized, guess what? I've got my scriptures right here. I can read you the scriptures. Okay? So, folks, we appreciate you being here. I really do. When I first started teaching Sunday school here, I got criticized. I got beat up about the head and shoulders every time I tried talking about Jesus Christ. Every time I did a devotional, I got beat up. Well, those people aren't here. Okay? If they are, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't agree. But folks, I do know what I know, and I do know it to be true. So please join us Sunday at 10 a.m. with Come Follow Me, the Savior Said, talking about the life of Jesus Christ, his mission, and like I said, his triumphal entry into Jerusalem prior to being crucified. So we're going to have fun with that, I promise you. Anyway, let's talk about earthquakes. I'm going to talk right now about California earthquakes. So friends and neighbors, get prepared for this, okay? Again, Caltech has put out the earthquake information on seismograms every Tuesday. And so from now on, as much as possible, I'm going to come on Tuesday evenings and talk about California earthquakes. Again, like I said last night, Caltech screwed up on Mount Lassen. Okay, it's still screwed up. We still don't have a decent seismogram from Mount Lassen. Okay, they turned the seismograms off, or excuse me, not turned the seismograms off, they turned the seismographs off. Not one single seismograph was working yesterday. None. None. Sometimes, folks, they have 10 seismographs on Mount Shasta and Mount Lassen. Yesterday I showed you one seismogram on Mount Shasta, and even then it was doctored. It was doctored. 10 different machines on Mount Shasta and only one seismogram that was available to show, and it had been doctored. There was nothing at Mount Lassen, and still is not today. It's sad. But anyway, what we have here is mostly from Central California south. Okay, from south of Mammoth Mountain south into Southern California, down into San Diego County and out into the Imperial County. Okay, that's primarily where we're going to be with this. Okay, right now I'm showing you this seismogram here. It is in Bakersfield, California. Okay, yes, we do have some significant seismic activity here. Okay, now I'm going to blow this up so you can see the seismogram. You won't see me except occasionally here during this broadcast. Over on the top left-hand side, this seismogram started out at 5 a.m. this morning. Okay, for the most part, early this morning, all we had is microquakes. We had that one small minor tremor just about 3 minutes after the hour, 5:03 a.m. Just a small minor tremor, probably a 1.4 tremor. Then things started picking up. It wasn't just microquakes. 1.0 tremor here at 5:15 on the 5:15 red line below that. Okay, then you see seismic energy kicking up, and most of this is nothing more than tremors. Most of this is nothing more than tremors, and you can also see some larger tremor intervals, meaning the tremors lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, on those red lines from the center right to the right, okay, in the red, on the red lines. The first one is on the 9:15 red line, and the second one is on the 10:15 red line. You see 3 to 4 minutes over on the 9:15 red line where the seismic energy kicked up for almost 4 minutes. On the 10:15 red line, the seismic energy was there for 3 minutes. Can you imagine if this was more than just a tremor? Nobody felt this seismic event here. Nobody. It was too small. But things are happening out there in Bakersfield. This is the San Andreas Fault out there. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you more information about the San Andreas Fault, because guess what? Things are kicking up in Southern California. Things are really kicking up in Southern California. I think you may be surprised at what we're going to show you. It's going to be fun today. I tell you, it's going to be fun. I want to go now out to Barstow. I'm basically going to go by alphabetical order. Okay? One, because otherwise I may skip over something and I don't want to do that. So let's go out to the Barstow area of Southern California. This is over on the eastern side of the San Andreas Fault. Here we're seeing nothing but microquakes. Nothing but microquakes here. This one, this seismogram here, started off yesterday at 5 p.m. Yesterday at 5 p.m. Nothing more than microquakes at all. Okay? Then 2/3 of the way down, it turns into midnight last night, early this morning. Okay? 1 and 2 o'clock this morning. Again, nothing but microquakes. Okay? Microquakes out there east of the San Andreas. Then I want to go south. Okay? I want to go south. We told you about the Anza Gap. The Anza Gap. It's basically between Orange County and San Diego County. Orange County and San Diego County. Okay? Cabazon. Look at the seismic energy here. Okay? Today, what happened? Can anybody tell me what happened in Cabazon? If we go to look at what they have here on the USGS map, guess what? Guess what, guys? Very little information comes out of Cabazon. Okay? 1.3 tremors, all they're showing. A 1.3 tremor that happened at 12:52 p.m. today. Well, guess what? There's more than just a 1.2 tremor here. You can see it. Okay? We've told you that the U.S. Geological Survey does not tell us about everything that's going on. We've shown you seismograms in the past. We're going to show you more seismograms today to prove this out. Okay? We'll prove it out. Now, before I continue going, I want to do some housekeeping here. We have, according to my let me refresh this real quick. According to my computer here, we have 56 thumbs up. That's awesome. We have 95 watching. That's also awesome. I appreciate that. Folks, we can do a lot better on the thumbs up. Please do that. It's important. Why is it important? The thumbs up goes into the overall analytical factors that Google YouTube uses to let other people watch our program. They decide whether they're going to allow other people to watch our program here on YouTube. The more thumbs up we get, the more people watching our program that we get, and also not just that, the amount of time that people watch our program. All those factors go into the analytical barrel that YouTube uses to judge us whether they're going to let other people watch our program. If they see a large number of people subscribing to our program, if they see a large number of people watching our program and watching our program for a good deal of time, the more likely they're going to be of letting other people see our program, because they think it's important. You think it's important, so please help us support that. We'd really appreciate it. Already we've jumped up to 66 thumbs up. I do appreciate that. I love you guys for it, and thank you for your support. But anyway, guys, this is always an issue with the USGS. They will never be honest with us. You can see the tremors here all day long here. Okay, again, this seismogram started at 5 a.m. this morning. You can see the tremors all over it, even long-term tremors. But their 1.2 tremor that they have on the map, it's a joke. It's literally a joke. You can see the number of tremors that really happened there in Cabazon. It's the Anza Gap area, guys. What happens in the Anza Gap? We get a bunch of tremors, don't we? Then we get a larger earthquake. That's the way it happens. Okay? They don't want anybody to see what is happening, because they know if people get to see all these earthquakes and tremors going on, people are going to realize that a larger earthquake is coming. And then they'll panic. They'll leave that area. That's what's happened. Okay? We haven't had a decent earthquake here for a good year and a half. It's coming. The more seismic energy we see here, the larger chance of it happening again. And I'm going to show you a lot of earthquakes here in the Anza Gap area and also into Southern California, the rest of Southern California. Folks, I am going to put out an earthquake watch tonight, and I'm first going to show you why. You need to understand why we're going to have an earthquake watch. Okay, but this is Cabazon. Let's go west into Fontana. Go south and west into Fontana. This is Cal Electric in Fontana. Look at this. This is the largest seismic energy that we've had and seen here in Fontana at Cal Electric in recent months and years. We've been showing you Cal Electric for a long time. This is the most seismic energy that we've seen here in Fontana in a very long time. Look up at the top of this seismogram. Let me enlarge it again. I'm sorry, I shortened it there. Look up at this red line here. Okay? This is a 515. 515 on the far left. Over here, see that red seismic event here? It wasn't just one earthquake. It was not just one earthquake. This was a 3.0. And there was at least two shocks. There was at least two shocks at 5:18, 5:19 a.m. this morning. 5:18, 5:19 a.m. this morning, there were at least two 3.0 earthquakes. I'm saying it was at least 3.0. It may have been a little bit larger. Okay? This was not a 2.0 quake. It was not a 2.5. Going over to the right near the top as well. This one on the left-hand side of the blue line is 5:30. So this is about 5:40. Maybe about 5:42 a.m. this morning. We have another quake here. This one may have been a 2.9, 3.0. The other one was at least a 3.0. This is a 2.9, 3.0 quake here. So what do we know from that? This is very active. This is very active. Now, in Fontana, this is not a San Andreas quake. You need to realize over here in Southern California, there are dozens of faults all over Southern California. Dozens of fault zones all over. But on this particular fault, guess what? It's moving. You can see it here. You can see the images here. These are just not tremors. These are just not tremors. Down on the bottom black line here, okay? This black line here is 2 p.m. over on the left-hand side. Right here, this is 2:04 this afternoon. We had another 3.0 here. That long black line is a 3.0 quake. Look at the red line here. Well, you can look at the black and the red line here. Okay? These are more than just 2.0 earthquakes. Yes, we have some 2.0s here, which are just minor quakes. 2.0, 2.9 are considered to be minor earthquakes. But you can see right now we've had at least 3.0 earthquakes today. Okay? This is out in southeastern Orange County. Southeastern Orange County. Okay? This is rocking and rolling, isn't it? You better believe it is. Then let's go to Camarillo. Camarillo. Out here in Camarillo, it's not such an active day. This is nothing more than microquakes and tiny tremors. Microquakes and tiny tremors here. Okay? But the entire area here in Southern California is moving. So that's what I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to go a bit offshore to the west. Okay? This is the Channel Islands. This is the Channel Islands. Look what we have here. Okay? We don't have some earthquakes, but we have some significant tremors here. Okay? Look at the tremors here early this morning. The top line here is 9 a.m. this morning. We don't know what happened before that because they don't have that information for us. But looking at this is still very significant. Okay? This is a lot of tremor activity here. Hurricane Heather, this is Camarillo, California. Camarillo, California. Times and signs is explained in the chat. Seismic waves are elastic waves that propagate in solid or fluid materials. They propagate in solid or fluid materials. They actually propagate easier in water. Okay? But this is Camarillo. The one before that was out in Fontana, California. So this is what's happening. Okay? Let's keep moving here. So I showed you Camarillo and the Channel Islands here. Let's go over to Chino. My buddy Art Robinson, who also monitors this channel. Art, this is what's happening in your neck of the woods. Okay? Look at all these. We don't have any full-blown earthquakes, but maybe up at the very top of this seismogram. Let's show it to you. This one over here on the left, on the black line, is 5 a.m. on the left. We go over 3 minutes later, and this looks to be nearly a 3.0 earthquake. I'm going to say 2.8, 3.0 earthquake with that black line going up to the top of the paper here. Okay? That, folks, is at least a 2.8, 2.9 minor earthquake. All the rest of this seismic information here, it's all tremors. There's not one microquake on it. This is all tremor activity. and you can see that it's consistent and ongoing. It does not stop. I'm going to show you quite a few seismograms where it's going to show that exact same thing. It's consistent and it's ongoing. Consistent and ongoing. That is Chino, California. The next one, I'm going into San Diego County. Out in the far eastern side of San Diego County, up at the top of the Chocolate Mountains. Okay, this is Cuyamaca High School. This is way out in the far eastern side of San Diego County. There's a high school out there. The people in Julian, the people over in Pine Valley in San Diego, the people out in the mountainous areas, okay? Huge mountainous area. They have farms, they have some ranches out there. I used to go hiking out there. There's 2 Boy Scout camps out there. One is called Wacacush and the other is called Matagoy Scout Camp. I checked the Matagoy Scout Camp seismogram. It didn't show anything. Basically, I think they've got that turned off. I don't know whether anybody is even monitoring that. I know for a fact they're monitoring it via remote electronics. But it must be turned off because it doesn't show anything. And on a consistent basis, I've checked the Matagoy Scout Camp seismograph, or seismogram I should say. I don't have any power of seeing the seismograph, but the seismogram never shows anything going on. When I've seen the USGS map with tremors all over that area, I immediately go and check Matagoy. And now I check Cuyamaca. But this one at Cuyamaca shows just only sporadic tremors, 1.0 tremors here. It hardly shows any microquake activity at all. That means, I believe, that this seismograph has been turned way, way down. Okay? It's just barely showing microquakes here. Maybe some tiny tremors, that's it. Okay? There's hardly any microquake activity going on here. That means it's turned way, way down. That's not normal. I think the only reason that Cuyamaca High School is showing anything is because they have students there, and they want that seismograph to be moving, and so they want students to see what's going on. Okay? That's Cuyamaca High School in the far east San Diego County. So let's leave Cuyamaca. Let's go back over into the Los Angeles area, north of Los Angeles. Let's go over to Del Amo. Look what's happening in Del Amo. This seismic activity continues to beef up every time we show this. Week to week, day to day, the seismic activity is increasing. The seismic activity is increasing here. I don't think we have any earthquakes at all except here at the top of this red line here. Okay? Over on the left-hand side, this top red line is 5:15 on the left-hand side. So this would be about 5:20, 5:19 a.m. this morning. This is probably a 2.7, 2.8 magnitude earthquake, minor earthquake. That's all it was. Just one single P wave. That's all it took. Okay? The rest of these are all tremors. They're all tremors. But again, I want to tell you, it's consistent. It does not stop. It's constant tremor activity. It does not back off to microquake activity at all. This is all tremor activity. Okay? This is Del Amo. This is the most activity we've seen here at Del Amo. There's hardly any white showing between the colors here. That's a big deal. Okay? That's Del Amo. Now let's go out into Lancaster. Again, this is east of Los Angeles. Okay? East of Los Angeles, this is Lancaster, California. There just happens to be an airport out there. It's an old Air Force field. Now it's called Fox Airport. Fox Airport. Look here. Yes, you can see actually a lot of microquake activity, but you can see consistent tremor activity poking its way through the electronics of the seismograph. Now these are 1.3, 1.4 tremors. Some of them smaller, but these are still tremors happening out there. This is the San Andreas Fault in Lancaster, California. Fox Airport here. Okay? Let's go over to the coastline. Okay? This is again in Orange County, California. Look here. This is Laguna Bell. Laguna Bell. Up at the top of this seismogram here, this is 5 p.m. yesterday. 5 p.m. yesterday. We have some minor tremor activity. Just very minor tremor activity. Before late night this morning, midnight time period here, and after that we have some microquake activity, but then after about 2 a.m. it starts in again. We have some minor tremors. Minor tremors. Okay? We go from just microquake, just almost nothing there, to just minor tremors here. There's nothing more than that. Just minor tremors here. Okay? This is Laguna Bell. This is near the coastline of California, Southern California. Alright, let's continue. I want to take you now down to Long Beach area. Okay, I'm going to show you two seismograms back to back. This one here is Light Hype. The next one I'm going to show you is State Street. I'm going to go a little bit out of normal to show you two seismographs that are sending basically the same information. This is Light Hype. All you're seeing here is tremor activity. All you're seeing on this particular seismograph is nothing more than tremor activity. There are no small microquakes. None of that. These are all tremors. This is nothing but tremors over there just east of Long Beach. Now I'm going to show you State Street. State Street is an entirely different animal. Okay? I want to show you this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is just down the street and south from Light Hype. This is State Street. Those of you that have lived in Southern California know exactly where this is. Okay? This is State Street. Look at the seismic activity here. This is more than just tremors. This is minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes. Up at the top of this, this is 5 p.m. yesterday. On the black line at the top, this is 5 p.m. yesterday on the left-hand side. You can see these black lines going up to the top of the paper. Okay? This signifies larger minor quakes, doesn't it? 2.5, 2.6 minor quakes. Minor quakes. And throughout the color here, you can see some colors rising up. For instance, if you go over here to the second red line coming down from the top and go over to the right, you can see red going up, don't you? Okay? Again, probably 2.5, 2.7 magnitude minor earthquakes. Minor quakes. Okay? Then let's look at the bottom, towards the bottom of this. You see where these earthquakes are getting larger here? No, they are not small quakes, but they are minor quakes. 2.0 and 2.9 are considered to be minor earthquakes. 3.0 to 3.9 are considered to be small earthquakes. 4.0 to 4.9 are considered to be moderate earthquakes. 5.0 to 5.9 are considered to be large earthquakes. Those 6.0 earthquakes I showed you earlier today, 6.0 to 6.9 are considered to be very strong quakes. 7.0 and above are major earthquakes. Major earthquakes. We're going to talk about some major earthquakes in the coming hour, within the next hour. So let's keep going here. Down at the bottom of this seismogram, you see color lines going down off the paper here. Again, these are minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes here at State Street. Over here towards the right hand side near the bottom, on the black line here, okay, this was also a minor earthquake. Okay, this one happened after 3 p.m. this afternoon, so this was probably 3:13, 3:12 p.m. this afternoon on this second black line from the bottom. Okay, we're still getting some good sized quakes here. Okay, nothing big, nothing more outstanding than just a minor earthquake, but it's still happening. Just further west, over at Light Hype, oh, we showed you just minor tremors, didn't we? A complete change within a couple miles. A complete change within a couple miles away. Okay, that can happen. With the different seismic events that were happening here and the different areas of Los Angeles, you know what is happening. You know what's going to happen. Okay? It's incredible what is happening out here in Los Angeles. Now let me go north of Los Angeles here. This is Los Alamos County Park. Los Alamos County Park. We see here nothing more than tremors. Yes, we have a lot of microquake activity here going on as well, or what they refer to as background. But you're seeing a lot of tremor activity here. Los Alamos is a county park, but they also have a racetrack at Los Alamos. If you live in Los Angeles, you listen to KNX radio from San Diego or anywhere around LA, you hear horse racing statistics coming from Los Alamos, California at the racetrack. Okay? I used to monitor that when I lived in San Diego. I love KNX radio. It's great. Okay? So that's there. Now we go into downtown Los Angeles at the City County building. Okay? This comes from the Emergency Operations Center in Los Angeles. Nothing here but very tiny tremors and microquakes. This is what I find to be irritable with me, because I know what's going on in Los Angeles, and I believe that they should be showing more seismic activity than they're showing here. But this is nothing more than minor microquakes and minor tremors here. Okay? The seismogram started here at 5 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side, and you can see all day long. Each line here represents 15 minutes of time. Okay? That's the LA County City building. Okay, let's move on here. I want to go now over to the eastern side of Los Angeles, again, over to, I believe it's Orange County in Mira Loma, California. Mira Loma and Loma Linda Medical... Mira Loma, and then north of Mira Loma is Loma Linda. This is a seismogram for Mira Loma here. Okay? Yes, you see some microquake activity, but you see a lot of tremors as well. None of those tremors are really big. None of them. Tops maybe a 1.3 tremor, that's it. Okay? But you see the activity here. And this is typically what we see. If USGS was to show us the earthquake map, there's really nothing showing here at Loma Linda or Mira Loma. Nothing. Because there's nothing going on. Just really tiny microquakes. Yes, they've shown us 0.1 microquakes before on the map, They've also showed us 1.3 tremors, and that's honestly about as large as we get here on this seismograph. But they don't show that on the map, do they? But you can see the actual information here. Okay? Again, that's over just south of Loma Linda in Mariloma. Now let's go back west into a place called Moore Park. Moore Park is a pretty exclusive area of homes running probably from $375,000 on up to $1 million apiece. Okay, this is Moore Park. Here you're seeing a bunch of tremors. Yes, there's some microquakes down here as well, but now we're seeing some earthquakes as well here. Okay, up at the top of this was last night. Okay, yesterday evening, 5 p.m. at the top left side of this seismograph. Just some minor tremors there. As we go further into the evening, okay, go down to 2000 hours on the left-hand side. That's 8 p.m. We move over to the right, and now we're at about 8:12 p.m. yesterday evening. Here we see a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. A 2.5 magnitude earthquake. We see another 2.5 approximately at 21:14 p.m. last night. That's 9:14 p.m. over here on the far right-hand side here. Okay? 2 significant earthquakes. Just minor earthquakes, but significant. Okay? You can see these other tremors hitting here. Don't get me wrong. We have some tremors there, but we had a couple minor earthquakes as well. Then, at 2300 on the left-hand side, on the black line, we go over 4 minutes, and you see some tremors building. They start off as maybe 1.1, 1.2 tremors, and then they raise up to about 1.4, maybe even a 1.5 tremor before it was all the biggest part of that seismic event was over. Then it gets into secondary waves after that. Then it goes into a body wave after that. The secondary wave here took 2 minutes to dissipate into a body wave. Okay? That's significant. Okay? A 1.5 maybe tops, the largest 1.5 tremor, and it takes 2 minutes to dissipate. That's a lot of energy there. Okay? That kind of makes me wonder, was this seismograph turned down? Was it turned down? Was this seismic event larger than what they're saying? I don't think so, but it could. You see the other seismic activity here? It's nothing but minor tremors at best. Okay? But that's what's happening here. Okay? This is Moore Park, California. Like I said, it's a pretty exclusive community. Homes ranging from like $350,000 on up. Moore Park, California. It's a really nice place. Let's continue here. Okay? I just love this area, guys. I really do. This is a kick in the pants for me. I want to show you North Hollywood. Last week I didn't show it to you because it was trash. It was nothing but trash. See these wavy lines here at the top of this seismograph? This is all it was. Just a bunch of wavy lines. Nothing else showing. This seismograph starts at 5 a.m. in the morning at the top. Nothing more than wavy lines, which is called abstract. It's trash. Nothing more than trash. But in the midst of the trash, we're seeing some minor tremors here. I don't even believe we may have had but maybe one earthquake here today. It is basically in the center of this seismogram on the black line after 10 a.m. this morning, which this would be about 10:09 a.m. this morning. That may have been a 2.5 magnitude earthquake, a minor earthquake. You can see the seismic energy building on the left-hand side of it and then dissipating on the right. Okay? These wavy lines here don't mean anything. Not a thing. It's trash. Seismic energy does not do this. I've shown you other seismograms all over the place, here in California and all over the world. Seismic energy doesn't do this. Okay? It doesn't do it. The seismologist who runs this machine is not paying attention or is purposely doing this. Okay? But what you're seeing here are basically minor tremors and one minor earthquake, like a 2.6, 2.7, maybe a 2.8 earthquake. Okay? But nothing more than a minor earthquake at that. Okay? So this is what's happening in Hollywood, North Hollywood to be exact. Okay? Now I want to go over, I'm going by alphabetical order. I'm going to show you a seismogram coming from the Palomar Observatory in northeast San Diego County. Okay? The Palomar Observatory is a telescope, okay, on Palomar Mountain. Palomar Mountain is approximately 7,200 feet high, 7,200 feet high. I've been here. I've been here inside the telescope home, the home of the telescope, the building surrounding the telescope. I've been inside it. Okay? This is a model of the Hale telescope. Okay? They call it the Hale telescope at Palomar Mountain. Okay? It's got a 200-inch mirror. A 200-inch mirror there. It's huge. It's huge. This is a telescope building at Palomar. The scientists out here are just here posing with the telescope itself. You see the doors open. Okay? Now this telescope moves. Okay? It moves on a bunch of tiny bearings and wheels. It turns. It can completely turn from one side to the other side here. It's manipulated by the astronomer running the telescope. Okay? That total top half of the telescope can move on bearings and wheels there. Can completely turn around. It's wild. It's a lot of fun to see. Okay? That's what it looks like. It's really, really cool. Okay? Now, the next slide I'm going to show you is the room inside next to the telescope. Okay? This is it here. This is just one side of it. Over on the far right side, you're looking through a window into the observation area where the astronomer sits with a telescope. Sometimes there may be two astronomers, one working the computer and one peering into the telescope itself. Sometimes both of them are monitoring computer screens. The computers are looking through the telescope and they're seeing distant galaxies. Okay? It's cool. But in this room is where the seismograph is. In this room is where the seismograph sits, monitoring seismic activity at Palomar Mountain. Okay? Now, I have on occasion shown you the seismogram from Palomar Mountain. I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay? This is it. Okay? Look at what we're seeing. This is yesterday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon. It's just barely showing some background. Nothing more. This particular seismograph has been turned so far down it's not showing anything. This is not normal. This is absolutely not normal. If a seismograph is running, it's going to show you little bleeps and jumps all over the place. Okay? But this one is not showing anything more than just barely moving. This seismograph has been turned way down, and then it was turned off. after, well, just about 7:29, or not 7:29, 5:29 yesterday afternoon, they turned it off. You don't see anything after that. They turn the dadgum machine off. Okay? I've got to ask why. It's monitored remotely. Why did they turn it off? Okay? Why did they turn it off? This is the kind of thing we see all the time. I monitor these seismograms every day when they're showing them. Sometimes they don't. But I check them every day. I monitor what is going on. And when they're turned off, I get a little perturbed. Excuse me, I'm sorry to sneeze in your ear here. When they turn it off, I get a little bit perturbed because, like you, I pay taxes. And I expect for them to keep it on, to tell us what's going on, but they don't. This is the observatory area at the top of Palomar Mountain. This is the main observatory here, and they have 2 or 3 other observatories here on Palomar Mountain, just minor telescopes around Palomar Mountain. And off to the left-hand side, you see a fire tower. You see a fire tower. They have some representative either from the Forest Service or a civilian hiree that comes here and spends the day and the night here at the fire tower, monitoring fires all over the place. They have binoculars up there in the fire tower where the person up there monitoring the fire tower is looking out over the entire landscape. They can literally see for miles. Miles and miles up here. I've been in that particular fire tower. I've been in other fire towers all over San Diego County and the mountains. Okay, but it's a really cool experience to be there. I wanted to show you this slide so you can see what I've seen. It is really cool. Okay, let's keep moving here. Okay, that's Palomar Mountain. Let's go over into Los Angeles again. This is Pardee. This is Pardee. Up at the top here, on the top line, it's 9 a.m. on the far left. We go over 4 minutes. 4 minutes after 9, 9:04. Guess what? We have a 2.6, 2.7 magnitude earthquake. You can see that black line there sticking up into the air off the paper here? Guess what? That's at least a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. You can see most of this is just tremors here. Over on the blue line after 2000 hours yesterday evening. Okay, look what we have here. Okay, look at that. This is another 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. Okay, this is just after 8. I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just before 8:06 p.m. yesterday evening. We have this 2.2, 2.3 earthquake on the blue line. We can continue going down here. Just nothing more than tremors for the most part, except at the bottom right-hand side on this black line. Over on the left-hand side, this would be 4 a.m. in the morning. Over here, guess what? This is 4:14 a.m. this morning. This is a 2.6, 2.7 magnitude earthquake. Okay? It may have been 2 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. I see 2 lines at the top, which means it could have been 2 earthquakes back to back. Okay? This lasted several seconds. We see a very small triangle going out to the right-hand side. Okay? That is a secondary wave. It lasted probably 20 seconds. Okay? 20 seconds on a secondary wave after a 2.2 earthquake? 2.3 maybe? That's not bad. Not bad. Not bad. But even here, we're seeing the earthquakes in Los Angeles. We see a lot of tremors, but we're seeing a lot of earthquakes. And before I'm done here, you're going to see a lot of earthquakes, a lot bigger earthquakes. Okay? I'm promising you some bigger things here. Now, before I leave this area here in Los Angeles, I want to show you two more seismograms, and then we're going to go further south. Let's go over to Playa del Rey, which is the north shore of Los Angeles County. Playa del Rey, California. Look what we're seeing here. Okay? Again, this is the coast. Let me reduce this in size so you see the entire seismogram. Up at the top, we don't see much of anything, but this is microquake activity. We have some tremor activity 1.0, but that's it. Okay? But that's it. Down at the bottom, this is abstract. Again, at the top part of this seismogram, it's showing realistic information. But down at the bottom, they messed with it. This is exactly what I've been talking about when I say that whoever is monitoring or operating this seismograph is playing with it. Why are they showing us this? Why are they showing us trash? Okay? That's nothing. It's trash. Times and Signs is going to go night-night. Have a good night, Times and Signs. We appreciate you. We really do. I talked to her on the phone earlier today regarding some other information that I'm going to vet, and we're probably going to discuss with her sometime in the morning. Anyway, after this, okay, I showed you that over at Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. There's something else that I need to show you, okay? We've talked about Walnut La Puente in the past. Let's go over to Walnut La Puente now. Look what I'm showing you now, okay? This is the same kind of activity that we saw on the north side of Mount Shasta 2 years ago. The same kind of activity on the north side of Mount Shasta 2 years ago. Seismograph LME. Seismograph LME at Shasta has been turned off. Okay? Turned off for now close to 2 years. This is the kind of thing we saw at Mount Shasta. We see this at Bombay Beach all the time. This is at Walnut La Puente. This is at a volcano. There is no cone here. There is lava off to the side on the hill. There is no cone. There is no crater. Walnut La Puente sits in a massive caldera. Okay? Sits in a massive caldera. But what you're seeing here is earthquakes here made by what? By magma beneath the ground. This is magma beneath the ground creating these earthquakes. Magma coming into this volcano, okay, not going up into a huge mountain, but coming into the bottom side of the volcano, causing these earthquakes. And yes, folks, some of these earthquakes are larger than 3.0. Now I'm going to take you down. I'm going to enlarge this here so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, let's go down here to after 1 a.m. this morning. On the red line after 1 a.m. this morning here. See that red line there? Guess what we see here? We see the red line above that showing at least a 3.4, 3.5 earthquake there, but this one here at 1:15, just after 1:15, 1:16, with tremors and minor earthquakes building up to a full-blown earthquake, guess what? This was a decent sized earthquake. This was probably a 4.0 earthquake. Okay? 1:16 this morning. Then as it goes down the line to the right, okay, now about 1:04, 1:05 this morning, they chop it off. They chop off the top and they chop off the bottom. So we no longer can see exactly what's going on. Isn't that interesting? Look over to the middle of that line here towards the right. It's all chopped off. Okay? It does not continue as a solid earthquake. There are a bunch of earthquakes hitting here. Okay? It becomes intermittent at some point. Then it starts picking up again. But they have chopped off the top and the bottom of this seismic signature here. We've had a 4.0 earthquake here. Why did they chop it off? Because they don't want us to know exactly how big this earthquake was. This earthquake was kind of blinded by the red line up above it. Okay, but I can see what is going on. Most of you can too. You can see these other earthquakes as well. 3.5. Some of these other seismic signatures have been chopped off as well. Okay? Some of them are smaller. Some of these seismic signatures are 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 magnitude earthquakes. But the larger ones are over 3.0 magnitude earthquakes, probably pushing 3.5 small earthquakes. This one on the left hand side here, on that red line here at 1:16, that is a much larger earthquake. Okay? It's a much larger earthquake. Again, we're seeing seismic energy building in Los Angeles. Seismic energy is building in Los Angeles. Wolfman says why she's being annoyed. Heather is annoyed. They can be annoyed together. What's the matter, girls? Sisters, what's going on? Lama's Light sings, "Hey, Kimberly." Heather says she's okay. She goes, "Deal, brother." Okay. That's fine. I'm just trying to help you. Hurricane Heather says everything's good. Okay, that's fine. But anyway, guys, this is a volcano. A lot of people don't realize it, but this is a volcano. The magma underneath is causing earthquakes. Okay? Why do you think that I am calling for a large earthquake here in Los Angeles? It's not just magma, though. It's not just magma. Okay? Let's go further south. Okay? This time I'm going to take you into Imperial Valley, California, down by the Salton Sea. I've explained where all of these locations are. When I tell you about North Shore Salton Sea, it's over on the northeast corner of the Salton Sea. Let's go over to North Shore right now. Okay? Let's go check out North Shore Salton Sea. Guess what? What are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? Intermittent earthquakes here. Intermittent earthquakes. Okay? What is this telling us? Okay? Up here on the northeast end. What is up there? The San Andreas Fault is up there. It does not go underneath the Salton Sea until it goes about 2/3 of the way south under the Salton Sea. Up here on the northeast shore of the Salton Sea here, we're seeing some minor tremors here. Minor tremors. At no time do these minor tremors get larger than that. We don't see any larger earthquake activity here. Okay? That's the entire seismogram there. Now, let's go over to the west side of the Salton Sea. In this case, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at Salton Sea, Salton City. This is over on the, it's not the northwest side of the Salton Sea, but it's about 2/3 of the way up the western side of the Salton Sea. That's where Salton City is. Again, we see some very light tremor activity. Probably not even tremors. This is microquake. This is microquake activity, but nothing major at all. Not a thing major at all. This is over on the western side of the Salton Sea, but guess what? This is the San Jacinto Fault that's causing these tremors here. A completely different earthquake fault. Okay, this is the San Jacinto Fault causing these tremors on the western side of the Salton Sea. Okay, now let's go over to Bombay Beach. I just love Bombay Beach. Wait till I show you Bombay Beach. What a deal. What a deal. Unreal. Unreal. This is Bombay Beach, guys. Look at this. Look at these earthquakes. Okay? On the green line towards the left. Okay? This would be 5:45 this morning. Okay? We go over 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes after that. Okay? 5:49 a.m. 5:49 a.m. We have a decent sized earthquake. This is probably at least a 4.0 earthquake. Why do I say that? Because the green lines here are cut off. These green lines are showing at least a 3.5 earthquake. The top of it's cut off and the bottom of it's cut off. We don't know how strong this quake is because they cut it off. Okay? 5:49 a.m. this morning. It's at least a 4.0 earthquake, almost guaranteed. A moderate earthquake, a low-end moderate earthquake. Okay? Then we wait for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes later. We have another seismic activity happening. Okay? All we have are minor tremors building into a 2.2 magnitude earthquake and then building into at least a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. This seismic activity takes place over 2 minutes. Then there's a secondary wave over on the right hand side, okay, as the seismicity decreases. Okay, so we started with minor tremors on the left hand side that took about a full 50 seconds to build up into an earthquake. We go from a 2.0 to 2.5 earthquake and then back down. But if you look over on the left hand side on the black line, okay, that secondary wave took another 45 seconds there. So now we're talking at least another minute and a half secondary wave. That's how we can tell that this earthquake was a significant quake. Okay? The longer the secondary wave is going, the larger quake it is. If we see a body wave after the secondary wave, it would have been a lot larger quake. Okay? Then we drop down to 6:15 this morning. Okay? We see some very minor tremor activity start. it continues for 1 minute and 45 seconds. Then it builds into a larger tremor. Then about 30 seconds or 20 seconds after 6:17 this morning, we have full-blown minor earthquake. 2.0, 2.7, 2.8, immediately upwards of a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. But again, they chopped off the top and the bottom of this seismic signal here. This activity lasted 1 minute and 45 seconds. Okay? Look how long the body wave lasted. The secondary wave lasted. Okay, it lasted until the next seismic signal started taking off again. Okay? 3.5 minutes later, another earthquake hits. Okay? That secondary wave lasted 3 minutes. So this earthquake probably was closer to a 3.5, 3.7 earthquake. Okay? They may chop it down. They may not let us see the full significance of the seismic signature, but if we can see what's going on here with the secondary wave or a body wave after that, we can ascertain that this was a much larger earthquake than they are showing us. Okay? Then we drop down to the black line below that. The second black line here, actually the third black line here over on the right-hand side. Again, we've got the same kind of activity happening here. Okay? Tremors building into a full-blown 2.2, 2.3 earthquake, and it builds into at least another 3.0 earthquake. Again, this seismic signal has been cut off on the top and the bottom. We don't know how strong this was, but this, I believe, was at least a 3.0 earthquake. Why? It lasted 2.5 full minutes. Then we have a secondary wave that lasted another 45 seconds, maybe a little bit longer than that, before it goes to a body wave again. Okay? We jump down to 9:15 this morning. We jump down to 9:30 this morning. Over on the right-hand side, right before 9:30, in the red, okay, we've got at least a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, and it turns into the blue earthquake on the left-hand side and continues. Okay, we've got a decent earthquake here, at least a 3.0 earthquake. We look at the body wave. Look how long that body wave goes out to the right. Before that, the secondary wave. Okay, we have at least a minute, maybe a minute and 10 seconds secondary wave. That's significant. Look at these other quakes here, especially the bottom one on the black line there on the right hand side. This is after 2 p.m. After 2 p.m. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? 7 minutes after 2, we have seismic energy building. We have tremor energy building for a full minute. Then about a minute later, we have probably a 1.5 tremor. It builds quickly up within about 30 seconds to a full-blown earthquake. Okay? Again, the top and the bottom have been cut off. We don't know how strong it is from here, but it is substantially longer. Okay? This earthquake basically lasted 2.5 full minutes. This was probably at least a 3.5, if not a 4.0 earthquake too. Okay? We don't know exactly how large it was, to be honest, because they cut off the top and the bottom of this signature. But again, look at the body wave after that, and before that, the secondary wave. The secondary wave goes out there over a minute long. Then we have a body wave after that, and that continues for a while. And it develops into another earthquake after that. Okay? at 2:15. It dissipates and goes into another minor earthquake, 2.0 maybe 1.8, 1.9. But this is significant activity at Bombay Beach. This is on the San Andreas Fault here. Okay, this can be expected on the San Andreas Fault. All right? Now the San Andreas Fault, once it goes out from underneath the Salton Sea, it turns in a south-southwesterly direction. It goes over to Westmoreland. So let's take a look at Westmoreland. Okay? I love Westmoreland. Westmoreland is a nice little town. Okay? I think it's cool. I really do. This is Westmoreland. All those earthquakes at Bombay Beach died down, didn't they? Okay? Over here in Westmoreland, at the southern end of the Salton Sea, all we have here are tremors, unless the seismologists turn the seismograph down, which they may have done. But all we're seeing here are minor tremors here. Nothing more, and probably a ton of minor microquakes. Nothing really to see here except trash. Okay? Now, we have friends in Westmoreland, friends that monitor the show. We've got Juanito that lives there. We've got one of the husbands of a wife that lived down there in Westmoreland who works down there, and the wife died of CV last year. She was a great lady, so was her husband. And I want to pay tribute to him. He's surviving all this crap going on down there in Imperial County. Okay? Now, I showed you North Shore, I've showed you Salton City over in the west, I've shown you Bombay Beach over on the east side, and I've now shown you Westmoreland. South of a town called Westmoreland is a town called Imperial. This is Imperial. Okay? On occasion, we'll see seismic activity like at Bombay Beach here at Imperial. What we see here, and again, this seismic energy here, this signature, I don't believe that it was totally cut off. It might have been. It might have been cut off. But I'm going to venture forth and say that this was at least a 6.7, 6.8 magnitude minor earthquake. Okay? The quake started with tremors over on the left-hand side, didn't it? It took 2 minutes of constant tremor activity before it became a 1.7 tremor. And then it took some time to build up into a 2.0, 2.6, 2.7 magnitude earthquake. Nothing more than that. Then it dissipates over on the right-hand side. The dissipation takes about 45 seconds to dissipate. Then it goes into a body wave after that. Okay? But that's all that's going on here. There's some minor tremor activity here, but most of it is microquake activity here. You just see this one lone earthquake in Imperial County, in the town of Imperial. Okay? Now, we're going to go south here. We're going to go south and a little bit west. I want to show you the town of El Centro. Good old El Centro. I love El Centro. I spent quite a bit of time in El Centro. Okay? There is a Navy air station there. A wonderful Navy airport with F-14, F-16, F-18 Tomcat fighters. Okay? Wonderful planes. This seismograph is at El Centro Naval Air Station. Okay? Look at the earthquakes here. Okay? Yes, we have a lot of tremors here too, but we're getting 2.4, 2.6 2.7 earthquakes here. We may have even had a 3.0 here earlier today. Okay? Look at what we have here. Okay? And I think that one large earthquake may have happened after 0900 today, probably 9:50 a.m. this morning on that green line. Okay? But we see some other earthquakes here, don't we? On the bottom red line here. Okay? That one looks to be a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. Okay? This afternoon. This happened at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. This happened at 2:23 this afternoon on this red line here. Okay? Look at that. Lots of fun. Okay? I spent time here at El Centro. They have a lot of good facilities for the airmen and the civilians there to use. It's a great place. Okay? Yes, they do have earthquakes there. I just showed you that. Okay? All sorts of stuff like that. Then I want to show you Holtville, the Salton Sea Desert Research Station, further south about 20-25 miles south of the Salton Sea. This is the Salton Sea Desert Research Station. Okay, all you see here are tremors, and that's it. Nothing more than tremors here. Sometimes in Holtville, we'll see some minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.5 minor earthquakes. Occasionally, we've seen a 5.0 large earthquake here in Holtville. Okay, Holtville and Brawley. Okay, Brawley and Holtville are two towns down there that are separated by a few miles. Great little towns, great people out there. Okay, right now it is the end of March, and they're starting to heat up there. They probably had 70-degree temperatures out there in the desert. Within the next month, it's going to get up to 90. By midsummer, it's going to be over 120 degrees down here in Imperial County, California. It's going to get hot. Okay, this is Holtville. I'm going to make one more stop here. It's called Calipatria. Calipatria is over on the southeast side, just south of the Salton Sea. I like to show you Calipatria because it is more of an honest seismogram. It shows you realistically a lot more information than almost any of the others do. Okay, look at this. Okay, the top of this seismogram, it starts at 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Up at the top, we're seeing a bunch of tremors. Most of them just very minor tremors. But just after, I want to say, gosh, what is this? This is just after 4:15 yesterday afternoon. Okay, this red one, okay, the red color is done by the computer, telling the seismologist, hey, look at this, this is important. This is like a 2.0, 2.5 magnitude earthquake. We don't see the top because it's off the chart, it's off the paper. But looking from the center of it down to the bottom, this is at least a 2.2, 2.5 tops. Nothing more than that. But it's at least a minor earthquake. Then we go over here to the right side. This one happened after 4:59 p.m., nearly 5 p.m. This is a 2.3, 2.4 magnitude earthquake. And we see quite a few of these on this particular seismogram. Quite a few of them. See this one here in the red that's kind of up near the top center here? That's another one. This happened just after 9:50 p.m. last night. That's a 2.1, 2.2 earthquake. Okay? You see a lot of minor earthquakes and tremors here, don't you? A lot. look at today. Okay? We had some minor earthquakes happening before 2 a.m. this morning. You can see them here. Okay? But it got incredibly busier early this morning, didn't it? Look at that. Okay? After 4:40, actually 4:30 this morning, it got crazy. It got loony here. We had some tremors. We had some 2.0, 2.2 magnitude earthquakes. And look over here on the left-hand side here. See this large red line here? It was cut off at the top and the bottom here, so we don't know how long that earthquake was, or I should say how strong that earthquake is, but it's at least a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. It might be a 3.0. Okay? This happened this morning. Okay? About 9:15 a.m. this morning. That's a pretty decent earthquake. Actually 9:30 this morning. That's a pretty decent earthquake. The red color is generated by the computer. Off to the right-hand side, we see a small triangle. Okay? We don't see the full triangle because they cut it off. And they may also have turned down this seismograph as well. But we still see a lot of earthquakes here. Okay? I pulled this just about 3 p.m. this afternoon. You don't see anything after that. But I wanted to show you this. This is impressive. There are probably close to 100, 125, maybe even 150 earthquakes here. That's what's so impressive about this seismograph. 24 hours of earthquakes on this seismograph. That's an awful lot of earthquakes and seismic activity. Okay? Does anybody have a question? Does anybody have a question? Okay? Hurricane Heather says, I see some reportable earthquakes. Yes, there are, Heather. There are quite a few reportable earthquakes, but you don't see that on the USGS map. They're not showing any earthquakes at all south of the Salton Sea. Heck, they're not showing anything at Bombay Beach. Yet I just got through showing you at least 10 earthquakes hit Bombay Beach. 10 earthquakes, 3.0 and larger, hitting Bombay Beach. There should be a lot more earthquakes and stronger earthquakes than this, because the San Andreas Fault goes down the eastern side of the Salton Sea, like we've shown you. It goes down the eastern side of the Salton Sea, and then once it comes underneath it on the southern side, it goes in a southwesterly direction. Then it goes almost straight south after that. It goes into Westmoreland to the west, and then it goes almost straight south through the rest of Imperial County. If that's the case, we should have larger earthquakes penetrating through the rest of Imperial County and going down into Mexico. Yes, folks, the San Andreas Fault is moving. It's moving. We showed you that. The USGS won't tell us. We have to go searching for the information ourselves. And sometimes even Caltech turns off the seismographs. Even Calipatria, they've turned off before. It's sad. They don't want people to know what's going on. And then they get people like Lucy Jones that gets on the television and says, oh, nothing's going on down there. It's completely quiet when it's not. Yet if someone goes into Caltech's work online, you can see the seismographs telling the story if they leave them alone. If they leave them alone. Okay, that's what's going on. Lamb is the light says they're funded by us, right? Yes, they are. They absolutely are. Now, I wanted to tell you this because several other people have asked about it. Someone this morning issued a large earthquake advisory, a very strong earthquake advisory for anything south of San Francisco, including San Francisco. A 6.0 to a 6.5 earthquake may hit San Francisco. Okay? It's that time again. It's been a long time since we've had a major earthquake in San Francisco. The last one is 1989 with a 6.9. Okay? It's been 34 years since a decent earthquake hit San Francisco. How many years has it been since Ridgecrest? Okay? That one was at least a 7.1, if not a lot larger. And then after that, down in southern Mexico 2 years ago, actually a year and a half ago, because I covered it, there was a 7.1 earthquake in southern Mexico, in Oaxaca, southern Mexico. It rattled Mexico City really bad. I told you then that within a very short time period, a matter of days, we would see significant earthquake seismic energy go north into California, and it did. It did. Okay? There was a significant earthquake north of Ridgecrest, out in the middle of the desert. Okay? Out in the middle of the desert, east of Olancha. Okay? That one was a 7.1 as well. Okay? That was about a year and a half ago. Prior to that, in 2019, we had the 7.1 in Ridgecrest. Folks, it's getting close to having another earthquake in Southern California. That's what I'm saying. Someone is calling for a 6.0 to 6.5 to hit in San Francisco in the next few days. I'm calling for at least a 6.0 in Southern California. I'm calling for a 6.0 in Southern California. I've shown you the evidence today of seismic activity building in Southern California, in Los Angeles County, in San Diego and Imperial counties. Okay? It can happen. It can happen. We have seen it happen. Okay? If you guys live in Southern California, you need to be absolutely prepared. If we get an earthquake of that size, it's going to be a very strong earthquake, and it's going to do significant damage. It will destroy homes. It will flatten buildings. It will destroy highways in Los Angeles. It will level the highways, knock down bridges. Okay? A large 5.0 to 5.9 can do very significant damage. It can kill people. But a 6.0 is larger than that, 10 times larger, and it can do significant damage, lots of damage. Okay? Yes, lamb is the light, so much of our money is wasted because these agencies can't get their heads out of the butts. Yes, that's exactly right. They can't get their heads out of the butts. They don't want to admit that something's wrong. They don't want to admit when something is going to happen. That's the long and short of it. It's sad. It's very sad. Any other questions here? Any other questions? Senior Lane says volcanoes can develop anywhere. They could. They could. Again, there's that area in La Puente and Walnut area in Los Angeles. There is a volcano there. There's none showing The agencies don't want us to know there's a volcano there. I just showed you the activity there. Okay? 3s and 4s hitting that volcano. There's magma under there. I've shown you that. I showed you Ridgecrest. I've shown you Round Valley south of Mammoth. 1.5 tremor at Round Valley south of Mammoth today. Mammoth Mountain's getting hit with 1.5, 1.7, maybe even larger, but they're not giving us any seismograms to look at Mammoth with. They're hiding the information, or they're putting up false data all over. All over. So I can't feed you anything because I don't know anything. Hurricane Heather is asking, how am I feeling? I'm okay. I'm still having my moments where I don't feel like doing anything because I'm so tired. Okay? I'm so tired. That's from radiation. I had radiation treatment and it just killed everything. And I'm trying to get it all back now. Yes, please guys, don't do capital letters. USGS looks at that as yelling. Please don't use capital letters. Okay? Please don't do that. And Amy Martin, I understand what you're saying. Yes, there are volcanoes in Arkansas. In Arkansas. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about earthquakes on the New Madrid Fault. Okay? And we're going to go also look on the East Coast as well. Because the Atlantic plate is pushing the North American plate in a south-southwesterly direction. And it's causing earthquakes along the East Coast. Okay? I've shown you that. Kimberly Hopkins is praying for us. I hope you all will pray for me. Yes, I need your strength. I need your prayers. And I appreciate it. Amy Martin says, sorry, no problem. Okay? We just advise you. One of my mods deleted your message. Sorry about that. But we had to do that. Okay? I appreciate all of you being here. I really do. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate your help. I also appreciate all those who donated to our program. I appreciate that rock collection from Sue. Okay? Sue's a great lady. I really appreciate her. Her and her husband do great work. Great work. I love and respect all of you. Now, I want to share something with you that means a lot to me, especially this time this year. Okay? The scripture comes from the Psalms. Psalms chapter 23. Okay? I'm going to go through verse 6. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is one of my favorite scriptures. If you have not already marked it in yours, I encourage you to do so. Again, Psalms 23 verses 1 through 6. One of my favorite scriptures. I opened it today and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to share this with everybody. Folks, read that chapter. It's full of wonderful information that will lift you up and make you feel better. Dennis says he loves this channel. I appreciate that, Dennis. He says, I like this channel. I appreciate that. And yes, I believe it's a great channel too. That's why we're still here. It takes a lot to get going here. 4 years ago on April 3rd, we have been here on the network for 4 years. 4 years. Before that hacker took down our last channel, we had almost 25,000 subscribers. Now we have just over 677 subscribers and growing daily. I really appreciate that. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank all of you for watching our channel. There's a lot of people here that watch this channel and they do not subscribe for whatever reason. I would encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you're not already. Please subscribe to this channel. When you do, click on that little bell icon. When you click on that bell icon, you're going to have a drop-down menu of 3 items come up. Click on the word ALL, all. That way you should get notified when we come on the air. But YouTube doesn't always do that. They don't always do that. I want everybody to know when we come on the air. That's why I tell you between 6 and 7 o'clock every day we'll come on the air. Occasionally it's after that, and I apologize for it. Lately I've had some health issues too that have delayed me coming on the air, but I still get here. Okay? It's hard sometimes with hot flashes, it's hard sometimes with some other bodily functions, and I can't do everything. But I'm trying. And I give you everything, I really do. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your support. I love each and every one of you. Your support helps me pay my medical bills, helps keep this channel on the air. Yes, it takes money to run a channel like this. Okay? I have to buy bandwidth from my provider to keep me on the air. It's expensive. It's getting more expensive. But you guys help me keep on the air. Once we get over 1,000 subscribers, I believe we can have Super Chat where you can give us money here on YouTube. In the past, a lot of people did that. I want that to come back too. There's a lot of things that happen once we get over 1,000 subscribers here. Folks, help me do that. Tell your friends, your neighbors, and your loved ones about our channel. Everybody, your family, your extended family, the people you work with, and the people you hang out with on social media. Tell them about it. Share this program with everybody. The more people that get here, the more subscribers we have, and the greater chance we have of getting our message of preparedness out to the masses. A good-sized earthquake's going to hit California. It's a matter of time. It may happen within the next 5 to 10 days. It might happen sometime in the next 2 to 3 months. I don't think it's going to take that long. I don't think it's going to take that long. It could happen at any time. Please, everyone, prepare. That's all I am asking. Get prepared, and please, please do it now. Please do it now. We're here to try to save lives. I've given you a lot of information tonight. I appreciate all of you here. Now, folks, I ask the Lord to bless you. I care. I know that prayer works, and I pray for all of you every day. I pray for all of you every day. I always do and always will. Now, folks, may God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We will see you on the other side. Have a great night, folks. Take care. Good night.